How would a Master Sergeant react if a private corrected their military history? I found out during my second week at Fort Campbell when Private Jake corrected Master Sergeant Williams about D-Day. We were in the break room during chow when Williams started telling his usual stories. Guy had 22 years in, 3 deployments, and loved educating young soldiers about military history. Problem was, he sometimes got details wrong. Today he was talking about Operation Overlord, the beaches of Normandy, June 6, 1944. All good stuff until he said something that made my stomach drop. And that's when the 82nd Airborne parachuted directly onto Omaha Beach, leading the assault against German positions. Jake, who'd been quietly eating his sandwich, looked up. Actually, Master Sergeant, the 82nd jumped inland, not on the beaches. They secured crossroads and bridges behind enemy lines while the infantry hit the beaches. The entire break room went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Williams stopped mid-sentence, his face turning red. Other soldiers started looking uncomfortable, waiting for the explosion. Nobody corrects a Master Sergeant, ever, especially not some 19-year-old private who'd been in the army for exactly 14 days. This was career suicide in real time. Williams stared at Jake for what felt like forever. His jaw was clenched tight, veins popping on his forehead, the kind of look that usually preceded someone getting destroyed. Private Parker, he said slowly, where exactly did you learn about D-Day operations? My grandfather was in the 82nd Master Sergeant, 505th Regiment. He jumped at 0130 hours, 6 miles inland from Utah Beach. Their mission was to secure Sainte-Mère-Église and prevent German reinforcements from reaching the coast. Williams' expression changed completely. Instead of anger, he looked genuinely curious. What was your grandfather's name? Staff Sergeant Robert Parker, Master Sergeant. He landed in an apple orchard, fought for 3 days straight, got wounded on June 9th, but refused evacuation until his squad was relieved. Williams sat down heavily, started shaking his head slowly. Bob Parker from Chicago? Skinny guy, about 5'8", had a scar on his left hand from a training accident? Jake's eyes went wide. Yes, Master Sergeant, that's him exactly. How did you know? Because I've got his picture on my wall at home. Williams pulled out his phone, scrolled through photos, showed Jake a black and white image. Group of young paratroopers in full gear smiling at the camera. Your grandfather saved my grandfather's life in that apple orchard. Sergeant Frank Williams, 506th Regiment. Landed half a mile away from your granddad, got separated from his unit, wounded and lost. Bob Parker found him, patched him up, carried him 2 miles to the rally point. If not for your grandfather, mine never makes it home. I never get born. The room was dead quiet. Williams stood up, extended his hand to Jake. You're absolutely right about the operational details, Private, and thank you for the correction. It's important we get history right, especially when it involves heroes like your grandfather. Jake shook his hand, still looking stunned. From that day forward, Williams treated Jake differently. Not like a pet or favorite, but with genuine respect. Started asking him to help with historical briefings. Turned out Jake was a walking encyclopedia of military history. Kid had grown up listening to his grandfather's stories, read every book about World War II, could recite unit movements and battle timelines from memory. Williams began bringing Jake to speak with new recruits. 2 generations of military knowledge working together. The old soldier's experience combined with the young soldier's detailed historical knowledge. 6 months later, Jake got promoted ahead of his peers. Williams wrote the recommendation letter personally. Best military historian I've served with in 2 decades. His grandfather would be proud. Last month, Williams retired after 24 years of service. At his farewell ceremony, he called Jake up on stage, handed him a framed photo of their grandfathers together in that Normandy apple orchard. Keep the history alive, Private. It's the only way we honor the ones who came before us. Jake still has that photo on his desk. Now he's the one teaching military history to new soldiers, making sure every detail is accurate. Williams stops by the base sometimes just to listen to Jake's presentations. Always sits in the back, nodding approval when Jake gets the D-Day timeline exactly right.